Brooke Baldwin, the lead starts now.
Thanks, Brooke. The president just signed an executive order to buy American. So wait, does that mean he wants me to stop buying Trump products? The lead starts right now. Make America buy American again. President Trump ordering the U.S. government to buy America and buy American and hire American. But should the president be looking into his own company's business practices first? The latest in conflict of interest watch. On the same April night she had dinner with President Xi, Ivanka Trump won some potentially lucrative trademarks in President Xi's home country of China. Plus, breaking news after a 3-day manhunt that started with a murder that was horrendously posted to Facebook. The suspect is now dead. But do police know if he made good on his evil promise to kill more people before he killed himself? Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to The Lead. I'm Jake Tapper. Just moments ago, President Trump signed an executive order aimed at putting to paper some of the rhetoric from his campaign. What the White House is calling its Buy American, Hire American order. It would beef up some protections for specific products made in the U.S. while also initiating a review of the program for skilled immigrants, the H-1B visa program, which the White House and plenty of other critics say has been abused by corporate America. Buying American and hiring American. It's time, the president said today, repeatedly, assailing cheap, subsidized, and low-quality foreign goods. It's an important issue. It's one I asked then-candidate Trump about in June 2015 because, of course, many Trump Corporation products are not made in the U.S. Far from it. As you may or may not know, this is a Trump tie.
Yes.
I bought it for this interview.
Oh, not only that, I mean, I buy a lot of stuff because...
But as you know, they're made in China.
Very beautiful tie, by the way.
It's a lovely tie.
Yeah.
It's made in China.
Correct.
Is it hypocritical at all for you to talk about this?
Not at all.
It's not just the ties, of course. Trump clothing, according to reporting by the CNN and the New York Times and the Washington Post, is made in Bangladesh, it's made in Pakistan, it's made in India and Honduras, in addition to the U.S. Ivanka Trump apparel is also made in China and Indonesia and Vietnam. Now, as for hiring American, a CNN review found that the president, as a corporate head, has hired more than 1,300 foreign guest workers to work at his various businesses here in the U.S. over the past 15 years, including requesting 78 visas to staff his 2 Florida properties for this year. Let's go now to CNN's Jeff Zeleny, who's live in Kenosha, Wisconsin, where the president toured a high-end tool manufacturer, Snap-on Tools, designed, manufactured, and marketed in the U.S. And Jeff, the president could be a leader here, not just as a president, but as a corporate titan. Does the White House acknowledge that he has not practiced what he's preaching?
Well, Jake, that is not something that came up here in Kenosha when the president was speaking. He, of course, did not acknowledge that he has been Exhibit A of all of the things that you just mentioned there. And it also highlights the shortcomings of the executive order he just signed here. It is not a piece of legislation. It is not a law that would require companies, that would require people to hire Americans or would require the companies to use American products. Instead, it's more of a directive, if you will, and it is urging federal agencies to try and use more American goods, but it would do nothing at all for businessmen or women like the Trumps who have done this. And I did talk to a senior administration official earlier today about, is there any hypocrisy in this? The fact that, the president himself, before he became president, did all what you just mentioned. And they said, look, he was a private citizen then. It's one of the reasons he believes the laws need to change. But Jake, again, this executive order that the president signed is going on the shelf with other executive orders. Yes, it does things around the edges, but it does not do what a piece of legislation would do, and you wonder why it's not been proposed in Congress, because it is actually something that might pass the House or the Senate here, but that, of course, has not been done. And we are in Speaker Paul Ryan's home district here in Kenosha, Wisconsin. So far, this has not been something that has been part of the Trump legislative agenda, but Jake, the president did talk, I think, in the most interesting terms about health care reform yet that